Welcome everybody to a very special episode of Red Web. Fredo, I should just call this Read Web because today Red Web reads a little bit of smut, okay? This is the first stretch goal as you guys have earned with your support during the 5-year anniversary stream, Task Force. Thank you very much. We can't thank you enough. That stream was a wonderful time. And this is one of the fun ones, so shake it off. Even if you don't know smut, we're going to get you in there. This is a gateway drug.
It is. Yes. BookTok is a whole thing.
Yes.
Look, if you're a guy and you haven't been reading it, this is kind of, this is what the women are talking about, all right?
Right.
And look, you might come across a little BookTok baddie. All right.
A BookTok baddie.
You might come across a BookTok baddie, and it might help to just know a little bit of what's going on here, because she's gonna have a shadow daddy that she's gonna talk about, or she's thinking about. And I'll tell you right now, gentlemen. I'll tell you right now. All right. There's just we can't compete. Okay, we just can't compete. These mofos are glamorous, glistening, muscles rippling, 6'5". Even got
okay, I'm out. Yeah,
I'll say it right now. Even got wings. Ladies, we like that. We
got wings out here now.
You like the wings? What is that?
Dang.
But you know what? Do not judge.
We do not judge. We listen. We read, and we do not judge. Shadow daddies, man, you had me blind pitching what a shadow daddy was during the stream. My biggest takeaways, usually dressed in all black, a lot of leather, skin tight abs, rippling muscles, thumb rings, at least.
The rings.
And long dark hair. I'm picturing like a Matt Mercer type almost.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know how rippling his muscles are, to be honest, but I can picture him as a shadow daddy.
No, we could. We started off a little light. We're doing the ACOTAR series.
Yes.
Court of Thorns and Roses is the first book that we've read. We're going to kind of do a quick little book summary. We'll go through that, maybe 6 paragraphs I'll read through.
Yeah.
We'll take a look at a quote or two, but we'll be giving our opinions because, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of red flags out here. Okay? I'm gonna say it. There's so many Farrah, what are you doing, girl? What is you doing?
Lay down the truth, sir.
But we don't judge.
We don't judge, but we protect. We might attack, but we don't judge.
We don't judge.
Listen, I'm out here supporting the wife, okay? You talk about those BookTok baddies, but listen, I knew my boy was coming too. I knew he was in the arena, so I also had to support him, okay? I got the collector's edition, the Shadow Daddy version, okay?
Oh my God.
Yes.
All right, here's the thing. I gotta ask you.
Yes.
Even in a joking way, have you whispered to the missus any quotes?
Even in a joking way or serious way?
Joking or serious?
No.
Or I've done any BookTok moves.
Oh, okay. I learned a lot. Listen, I don't have the strength.
There's a lot, dude. You didn't just do it. Oh my God, do a social post for just doing BookTok moves.
No, not really. I think at this point, Barbara, she has gone through this series. I am far behind her in the Romantasy experience. So on the smut level, it's kind of low, but for you and I, it's quite high. This is our entry level.
This is high.
Well, there's a lot to explore here. I had a lot of theories coming out of book 1. I was clocking people left and right. I'm very proud of my predictions on Rhysand because I was like, listen, he's being set up to be some sort of villain, and I'm pointing out this, that, and the other. We'll get into all of that. So yeah, okay, listen, Task Force. This will be either a way for you to indulge in this, kind of pick up the lingo, maybe a gateway entry for you to listen to or read ACOTAR yourself. And for anybody else who knows the series, this will be just kind of indulge with us as you know everything and we are just getting our feet wet.
I've come to realize, because I've been putting my opinions as I was going through the first book online, and people love to see the reactions as things roll on.
Right.
People keep saying, just keep going.
Right.
Also, chance for you guys to baby step us into your smut world.
I have to say, when it comes to first impressions on this series, I thought it was being painted as this real dirty, real extra smutty, people are banging.
It was very light, especially the first book.
it's very respectful. Very respectable levels.
Yeah, this episode won't be too unhinged because there's not there's not too much. All right, if you like it, give us time. All right. Den of Vipers, Haunting Adeline, some crazy wild stuff. Don't even.
You got me started already.
No. You don't want.
Hold on, I'm about to unpack something I don't want to get into.
Don't want none of that.
Okay. Listen, let's recap where we're at. This is, again, we're at the beginning of our smut and romantasy experience. I am currently, I've done the audiobook version of a lot of these too.
Same. There's noises. I have the graphic audio.
You got the noises?
The noises, dude.
The wet slurps.
Dude, the sounds of the sheets and the
growling.
The growling and the low breath.
People be breathing and growling in this book.
I can't listen. I'll walk the lake.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll get to like a smutty part, which is only a handful. Nope, change it and listen to somebody else. I got running shorts, so they're not that, they're like 5-inch. I can't be on the lake when smutty part starts when Tamlin, is trying to lay it down. I can't be favorite talking about how his skin is glistening and stuff like that. No. I'm like,
you're out there with minimal protection. The world's about to find out what you're listening to. You're nodding your head like you've got some good beats on, but it's actually... And Feyre exposed his glistening abs as Tamlin began to thrust.
Can't be looking like we're all bricked up on my running shit. Like, this guy really likes running. God damn.
Okay, you say that phrase. I have to give a little anecdote. I played Catan for the first time just like a week ago, and I'm in.
Is that phrase in there?
We kept using the thief to block up our only brick supply, which is necessary for expansion. And so I'm sitting there going, we're all bricked up. Everything's bricked up. And I thought that meant like constipated, like blocked up. Because when you crap bricks, and then the other half of half the table's with me. The other half of the table's going, that means something else.
I can't believe there was that many people that were like on your side.
Yeah, well, I was like, well, here's my etymology of it. Shit bricks.
Which makes sense.
You're all bricked up. Those bricks are shoved up in you. You can't crap.
The other half was like, I guess we're all hard for this right now.
And I'm like, oh, it's a constipation of another thing in a way. Well, I'm already tap dancing around this. Here's the thing. We don't do this like family friendly thing, but we also, I guess we just historically don't curse. And so there's this really awkward line to dance around. Right. So I don't want to sit here and be like coy, but I'll flag it. We might say some stuff that might be different than the bloody murderous stuff we talk about.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
I'm thinking about this now too, and we're going to get right into the book summary.
Yeah.
But I'm sitting here, I'm drinking water, a little energy drink.
Yeah.
If this continues, I'll be like reading book 4 with like a glass of wine.
Did you see his hand, Task Force? He already had the pinky out a little bit, and he was just... Gotta let it breathe a little bit. It's a fine vintage of last
was
week.
Doing what the
Oh, okay.
All right. Should we break it down?
Let me set the scene. Okay, actually, I had this in my notes, so I feel like I gotta throw it out there.
Yeah, go for it.
This book, it's Beauty and the Beast meets Game of Thrones with fairies. What do you think? Accurate?
Yeah, very accurate.
Okay. Beauty and the Beast, one of my favorite Disney movies anyway.
It's
so
very
I was
Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah. I'm going to set the scene, and then Fredo, I'll let you take it away. We'll go through the high-level plot. We'll kind of give reactions, things of that nature, and then move on to like maybe some predictions and what have you. Who knows where we'll go from here? But okay, we are set in the land of Prythian. Now, Prythian looks very much like the UK plus Ireland. So visualize that. That's essentially what we're talking about. Ireland being this island off to the west coast called Highburn. We don't really explore that in the first book, but the mainland of UK consists of 7 courts, in no particular order. You have the spring, summer, autumn, and winter courts, and then night, dawn, and day courts. Unfortunately, no dusk court for you and I.
No.
Our old names,
so
Dusk Boys. We gotta make our own court.
Gotta make our own court.
We gotta get Gavin, and we'll make our own court.
Pull them in.
And so that's where we're at. And if you look at the very south end, I will say it's in no particular order. It's not based on like climate or anything. Winter's right in the middle. Day and dawn are up more north where Scotland would be, into the night court up at the very north. And down at the very south, right below the spring court, there is this wall. This giant invisible wall to protect the realms from one another, the humans and the fairies. On the south end, in this little sliver, are where it's the mortal lands, it's the humans. And this is where we begin our story. Fredo, take it away.
So, this is A Court of Thorns and Roses, written by Sarah J. Maas. Audio narrated by...
What was that voice? I was like, do it all with that little bit of lisp.
As a huntress and her family's primary source of survival, 19-year-old Feyre stalks the bleak woods. I didn't catch that she was 19.
There were times where I had to remind myself, what's the age again? Like Blink 182 over here.
Crazy. A little farther from home than usual. Her family was once very wealthy, but they now live in poverty. Feyre's luck turns when she spots a deer. At the same time, an enormous wolf appears out of nowhere. Feyre wonders if the wolf is a fairy in disguise. She hates fairies for all of the harm they have done to humans. Feyre decides to use a precious ash arrow, a surefire method to kill a fairy, just in case. She fires the arrow as the wolf attacks the deer, killing the beast. The next evening, a golden beast bursts through the door of her family's rundown cottage. The beast reveals that the wolf was indeed a fairy named Andrus, and the beast demands payment for his death under the terms of the treaty between the human and the fairy realms. The beast gives Feyre a choice. He can kill her now, or she can follow him to the fairy realm of Prythian to live out the rest of her days. Feyre chooses to live. So off the bat, I'm sitting here and I'm just like, all right, we got fairies. The fairies can turn into beasts. I know the whole thing.
Yep.
And I'm going to put this out there because this came to mind too. I know sometimes people are like, oh, you listen to the audiobook. I read the book. I know how to pronounce it though.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
I'm just.
That's your flex. I know how to pronounce it.
Just playing with people. I'm just playing with people.
Well, you also get to hear, like, it's like 3DX in the mind.
It is. I get to hear the sounds, the ruffling, the
your chair's rumbling, and
yeah, yeah. I get to hear all that stuff. Oh, how they pronounce it though? Is it Feyre?
Who's it? Wait, which one?
How they pronouncing it? If it's not Feyre, is it Feyre?
Oh, it's Feyre, right?
Okay, so
but how? Yeah, but when you see it, how is it spelled?
It is
like fairy almost. F-A-E-R
E. F. Yeah. F.
Yeah. I think a lot of people were like fair.
F-E-Y-R-E. F-E-Y-R-E.
Yeah. Like fair. And then, the community self-corrects. They all kind of share notes and things.
I also come to realize that there is no, like, official drawings of these characters, but the community has made drawings and deemed what the official canon is for the looks.
Got it. Okay. Interesting.
But that's
because
through, like, the community and, like, artists, not necessarily like
the authors approved.
I don't know if it's author approved or not, but I do know like the look of these characters was from the community and is like deemed canon by like the community at the very least.
Yeah, I looked up a lot of characters to really visualize, but you got to be careful. There's a lot of spoilers out there. There's a lot of actions, stabbings, lovemaking between characters that if you look up like Feyre for the first time, you're going to go, who's that?
Yeah.
And it definitely starts to spoil some stuff. But
all right. What'd
you find? What'd you see?
I've never seen a drawing of Feyre. I search A Court of Thorns and Roses Feyre and okay. How
do I search Feyre if it keeps looking?
Feyre.
F-E-Y-R-E.
She was like 35.
Oh, I see. So if she was like double her age.
She was double her age.
Well, again, I also don't know where the series ends, but like, so maybe she does look. I got to be careful looking at these images because
you got to be careful. That's why I saw one and that was good. I didn't even look at the images.
I'll say this: the art for everybody in this book series,
everyone looking good.
Hot, spicy.
I know.
I have a headcanon for one for Rhysand. Should I say it now or should I wait till you introduce him?
Say it now because of the anticipation.
Okay. And this will like that way people can boil on it until we talk about it. My headcanon. And maybe it's because this is what I saw when I first was introduced to him. I think I clocked the man underneath it all. Rhysand is Matthew Barry. It's Matt Barry from What We Do in the Shadows.
Well, I was like,
specifically.
What We Do in the Shadows.
Absolutely it is. And I don't even know if it matches the description. And I've got all the ladies in my life flipping desks and throwing things out the window. It is a ruckus on my side of the world, but listen, it will stay forever. And there's one Google search result that agrees with me, and so I am valid.
was about to say, you just ruined it for so many people.
I mean, he's supposed to be the most beautiful man in all of the land. And this is not to disparage Matt Berry's looks or appearance.
No. But we're talking about...
But he's not the quintessential shadow daddy of Earth. You're the most devious bastard in all of Prythian. Farah. You know?
All right.
I don't know. I don't know where that came from. It's when I read his description.
I'm going to see it now.
Yeah.
In Prythian, Farah learns the golden beast is a high fae named Tamlin, or as the BookTok girlies call him, Tam Tam. He is the high lord of the spring court. Tamlin and all the fairies in his court wear permanent masks on their faces due to an affliction called the blight. At first, Farah is determined to escape Prythian, but she soon becomes accustomed to her new home. She learns about its history and magic, and that much of what she was raised to believe about fairies, including their inability to lie and their aversion to iron, are myths.
I forgot about this idea that they can't lie because, again, I'm like at the beginnings. I don't know if I said this, but you finished book 1. You're going into 2.
Yep.
I'm.
So we got spicy off the rip. I got a quote about that. I'll read.
Yeah, I'm like a third of the way into book 3.
Okay.
And it's interesting to see how far and beyond. Book 2 really opens the series and really develops characters well and the plot well. Book 2 is very simple and straightforward, but it's like things like that the can't lie part, I almost feel like fall to the wayside quickly. Even the Ash Arrow thing, it's interesting to go back and listen to some of these details. Yeah, I don't know.
I think that's what makes this interesting is that even people that have read this series, like going back and be like, I like the foreshadowing, this and that. Farah develops an affection for Alice, her lady-in-waiting, and Lucian, Tamlin's best friend. Tamlin encourages her to explore her love for painting and to improve her reading skills. He reveals that he has ensured her family is well cared for in the human realm. Romantic and sexual tension grows between them. Although Farah finds Prythian beautiful, it is full of dangerous creatures and intrigue. The blight makes life in Prythian increasingly perilous. After a threatening visit from a high fae named Rysand, Tamlin believes Farah is no longer safe in Prythian and decides to send her back to the human realm. The night before she leaves, they make love. Tamlin tells Farah that he loves her. Though she loves him too, she cannot bring herself to speak the words aloud. All right. My problem was the fact that, I get that Farah was doing so much for her family, and don't even get me started on her sister
Nesta.
Let's just talk about Nesta.
Okay.
Nesta is
Elaine.
A real meanie. I think it is Elaine. Is a real meanie. Nesta is like, girl, you're a real pain in the ass, and you're real mean, and the things that you want. All right, Nesta, stop it. Get away from me. All right. Already I have a problem. So I get it. And her father's kind of just like, I don't know, non-motivated, etc. But she's caring for her family so deeply and cares for her family so deeply. For her to kind of just be like, well, I'm in love and I want to be here now. I was like, in the book, it just seemed like it happened so fast.
It does.
It was
such
such
really
a fast switch up to like, my family is my world, even though they are my burden. Oh, actually, I want to stay here in Prythian. And
yeah,
I like it.
I will say, so like to add more color to that, for anyone who doesn't know, the history here is there's a lot of prejudice and fear between the humans and the fairies. And so the humans live in absolute fear. There is a cult down there that's like, we have to, observe and worship the fairies. And they're like, okay, no, thanks. But also, like, she lost Farah, they lost their mother, and their father, in trying to provide for the family, got loan shark beat to hell. And so they're really destitute. And so I'm wondering if it's like, a lot of things happen quick. Momentum happens quick, and I feel like I'm right there along with you where I'm going, this feels a little too much. It really made me question appearances of everything. And maybe that's a good thing. So everything that I saw, I was like, I'm going to wait for the switch because it's going to.
Right. Because
what this felt like, looking back, is love bombing, right? Where someone is like, and we'll find out as the plot unfolds that maybe that is what's happening. It's, if you trust everything at face value, she should be a prisoner, right? She should be a reluctant captive in the house. But actually, there's
Stockholm syndrome.
100%, yes. And so there's other motivations that we're going to find out later on in the book. But like, and so that's where I was like, okay, maybe that's why she's coming around, especially since she was mostly afraid, because she was the provider then for the family, that Tamlin's like, I got it. There's a rich aunt somewhere. And so now you have all this money and they'll never go wanting again. And that is a bit silly because I'm like, yeah, money is necessary if you need the money to eat and to live. But also like, I just gave them the money, so all is well. I'm like, yeah, but she'll never see her family again. So you're starting to see the seeds of like emotional immaturity there. You know what I mean?
Right. And then also, because there's a big quick summary. There was like a little nighttime festival or whatever. Which,
yes.
You know, which is kind of like, you know, Tamlin gets all primal and he finds someone that he wants to ravage.
Little debauchery.
And then we find out that he wants it to be Feyre.
I don't know if I could keep you safe from me. I just want you so bad.
But then also, like, you know, Feyre wasn't supposed to be out. She's out. She gets spotted by a couple other fairies. Like, what's this human doing here? And then she describes it as this shadowy figure that comes out of nowhere and like saves her. And this person we come to figure out is Rhysand. And she's like, he seems dangerous. I shouldn't talk to him. Like my heart is pumping. The fear, the adrenaline that I have just by him being in my presence. But she's like, but I'm drawn to him. I'm like, no, girl. First off, we got Tam Tam on the side. Okay, if you want to put like the potential love bombing aside, okay, you're falling for this person. He's falling for you. He's got the place. He's got the money. He's taking care of your family. Granted, like, yeah, he took you, but that's because you also killed one of his own. Still not great. Still not great.
Yeah, it's definitely a moral conundrum at this point.
But like, oh, I'm sorry. The bad boy comes along and it's just like, well, I shouldn't. No, but I'm drawn to.
But yes.
I'm like, no, come on, girl. What the? Come on.
Yeah. Here's the thing. At this point, I'm already pointing out, like, I won't let him be the villain of this book. I was refusing, and I kept anticipating a flip to Barbara as I'm reading along. And at this point, I'm like, the fact that they established that you can't lie to a fairy, and she lied to him upon meeting him, and he did like a knowing piece of silence where he's like, interesting. But he doesn't respond to it. He doesn't call it out, and she points that out. I'm like, he either has blackmail on her now, or there's an inherent trust underneath that he doesn't want to call out her lies. So I was already like, there's something else going on here. And so maybe, so I was open to the idea of her feeling that without knowing that that's what it was. But otherwise, yes. Again, face value. What are you doing, girl?
Yeah. Face value was like, this guy's dangerous.
Dangerous. But he does save her that night, is what it feels like.
But he's kind of like a bad boy.
He's kind of bad, though.
I kind of like it.
I can fix it. No. No. They fix them. Okay. Yeah.
Feyre returns to the human realm to find that Tamlin was true to his word. Her family is extremely wealthy and well cared for. Her father and sisters have been glamored or tricked with fairy magic and know nothing about fairies or how their wealth was restored. They believe Feyre has been away caring for a sick aunt. Soon, her sister Nesta reveals the glamour did not work on her. After Feyre was taken to Prythian, Nesta searched for her but was unable to cross the wall between the human and fairy realms. Nesta also revealed that she is still angry at their father for not trying harder to save their mother's life. Nesta's words inspire Feyre to fight harder for Tamlin, and she sets off for Prythian to fight the blight alongside him. When Feyre arrives at the spring court, Tamlin's manor is in shambles. Alice is the only one left. Alice reveals that the blight is a euphemism that refers to Amarantha, the High Queen of Prythian. Amarantha is an interloper who took Prythian over by force. She stole the powers of the High Fae and placed a curse on Tamlin that could only be broken by a woman who hated the Fae, declaring her love for him. I thought that was absolutely wild and super specific.
Very specific.
Because it also made it seem like it had to be someone that hated the Fae so much that would kill a Fae, and then that person had to fall in love with Tamlin to break this curse. I'm like, that's so specific.
Right, but that's fairy tales.
That's true. It is the the exaggerated love in the book. I can't talk. I read things where there's a guy dressed as a spider swinging through New York City.
Yeah.
Okay,
it's like guy dressed as a spider approaching a lady. I thought it was going to be some other smut stuff.
No. That was weird stuff.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, all right. I see now. But then I see the possible conflict that can come from this.
Yeah.
Where it's like, does Tamlin really feel that way?
Right. Or is he just trying to fulfill a prophecy? Yes. And so it does motivate this emotional outburst. But again, looking beyond the face value, I'm going, girl, run for your life. This man is thrashing the palace apart because this thing that he's kind of starting to show a lot more control over, you isn't doing kind of what he wants. You left when he didn't want you to. And so now he's torn the place asunder. There's a lot of like animalistic kind of urges in this guy. But yeah, I will say, as far as the plot, it feels heavy-handed. It gets much more organic and more nuanced into book 2 and 3. And I think it really opens up into a really, really interesting story. But otherwise, book 1, I think, is well known to be pretty simple, pretty straightforward, a quick read to get you into this world.
That. A lot of people were telling me, like, you gotta get past book 1. What the summary doesn't talk about either is that, what it briefly goes over is the fact that Rhysand did visit Tamlin, Feyre, and Lucian. Lucian was like trying to hide Feyre essentially, and Rhysand was like, "Right, you have a human here. I know. I'm gonna tell Amarantha." They're essentially calling Rhysand like, "You're Amarantha's whore," essentially. Like,
right,
you're her little boy toy, and you're the one that like fills her sexual needs. Rhysand is a very strong character. You come to realize during that altercation that different fairies had different abilities and powers. Yeah. And one of his was to be able to like, I guess essentially like bend people's minds.
Yeah. He can kind of enter them, and they describe it almost like a physicality, like entering the space of their minds, leaving something physical like it's a room kind of thing. I really like that. Exploring the shields people put on their minds, or, you know, I really like some of the magic systems they have. I think Spring Court is kind of becoming, I might be wrong, I'm trying to remember, but becoming more animalistic and having like that beast within. So like Tamlin can transform into this kind of wolf-like creature. Right. And then Lucian, he comes from, I think is it the Autumn Court? I think it's Autumn. And they have fire. Tamlin? Tamlin's Spring Court. He is a son of a...
he is the son. Yeah,
who's like, he's like the disappointing kid. And I'm like, so he will become the High Lord of it's just going to happen. Right, exactly. That's my prediction. But, so anyway, his ability, I think, is fire-based. Again, I could be super simplifying, but from my perspective, I haven't seen too much.
Since Feyre never told Tamlin she loved him, the curse remained. The curse prevented the fairies from telling Feyre the truth, so they used the blight to explain their mask and other conflicts. Alice can tell Feyre this because Amarantha has relaxed part of the curse, believing she's already won, but there is still one aspect of the curse Alice cannot reveal. When Alice explains that Tamlin and Lucian are Amarantha's captives, Feyre decides to go after them. I feel like this is the part of the book where it got really interesting for me, because it was like, okay, it's less world building and now things are coming into action, and like there's motivation that's been set up, and it felt more adventurous. Yeah. Feyre journeys to Amarantha's fairy court under the mountain, where she becomes a captive as well. Amarantha gives her the chance to save Tamlin by completing 3 tasks or by solving a riddle.
Complete these tasks 3, or a riddle.
Which is like, it's a pretty simple construct, but it gets me every time. I'm like,
every single time.
What's task 1? What's task 2? What's task 3? Oh my God, the riddle. I'll be a sucker for that at all times. That structure. Always. For the first task, Feyre uses her hunting skills to escape a giant worm in a labyrinth. As the fairies place bets and watch in amusement, the only one to bet on Feyre is Rhysand.
He's slipping her some clues a little bit along the way. You're starting to go, why?
After he heals her broken arm, in exchange, Feyre agrees to spend a week every month with him in the night court. I was like, oh, here we go. Now they're going to spend quality time together. She's going to see how soft he is on the inside.
Right, dude. And he comes from the night court, which the whole time I'm like is set up to be this sinister, super evil, like, up there they torture people for fun kind of situation. Right. And I'm like, So what kind of magical ass place is this actually going to be? Again, the whole time, maybe I'm so aware of patterns and I love to theorize. I mean, that's the show. It's Red Web. But like, so the whole time I'm thinking, how can they flip the script on me? But I also at the same time I'm going, but I don't know if I can trust my instincts. So face value, I'm like, a week out of the month. That's wild.
He was asking for more too.
Right. It started, what was it, half the time?
Yeah.
And they negotiated down?
Mm-hmm. Yep. They negotiated it down. Okay, for the second task, Feyre must successfully solve a puzzle and choose the right lever, or she and Lucien will be impaled and crushed. She makes the correct choice with the aid of Rhysand's voice in her head. In the meantime, Rhysand parades Feyre around as his escort at parties. And he does his whole, like, mummy thing, right? Like Brendan Fraser, the mummy, where when she agrees to this contract during that week, essentially like puts ink on her with markings. Well, the markings, like when he heals her, like is like all over her arm.
Yeah.
But then he like covers her in ink apparently. And so if anyone touches her, he can see where she's been touched.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, that's very The Mummy.
Is this like Mummy 2 where they like the opening was that the first one? Yeah,
yeah,
there's like
Imhotep had his love. He like touched her. It was like the
right,
emperor.
the smear right here.
Yeah.
He was the high priest or something.
Yeah, he knew. And I was like, oh, I see where you're getting that from. Okay.
Yeah. That's, oh man, yeah.
For the third task, Feyre must stab 3 fairies in the heart with ashwood daggers. Despite her guilt, she knows it's the only way to break the curse. I will say this, and I'll read this. I pulled away, but his hands were like shackles. I could do nothing as his mouth met with my cheek, and he licked away a tear. His tongue was hot against my skin, so startling that I couldn't move as he licked away another part of salt water, and then another. My body went taut and loose all at once, and I burned. Even as chills shuddered along my limbs. It was only when his tongue danced along the damp edges of my lashes that I jerked back. This man... Okay. So I talked about this with my female friends. And I'm like,
yeah,
this man is licking her tears.
Right.
And they're like, love it. I'm like,
love it.
What are we talking about here?
Love it.
Love it. But here's the thing. You can only do that if you're like the BookTok daddy, right? The like image of whatever BookTok shadow daddy that they have in their head, fine.
Yeah.
If you had your significant other that was a BookTok girl and you went over, you started licking her tears, I don't think it'd play out the same way.
No, dude, that's sociopath behavior. Someone's crying, they're emotional, and you start sucking down their tears, licking their eyeballs. No.
Like licking the lashes. I'm like, we like this? They're like, we like reading this. I'm like, what do you mean?
We're licking it.
We're licking eyelashes now?
Yeah.
But I mean, hey, it's just, it's a little read. We do not judge.
We do not judge. Hey, listen, it's a step outside of their normal comfort zone. They get to explore these things in a place where they don't get their eyeballs licked. Mm-hmm. So they can dabble, The thing is, too, since she's the POV character, I'm not thinking of it from the masculine perspective, putting myself in the story. I'm not thinking as Rhys. I'm also thinking as her. So I'm like, this man's licking my eyeballs. I'm like picturing myself in there. So I'm like, oh, hold on, Ness. Why are you sucking down my tears?
That's what I'm saying. Well, the rest of it goes, he chuckled as I scrambled for the corner of the cell. I wiped my face as I glared at him. See, at that point, I was like, oh my, first I would never have done that. But I would have been like, oh my God, I messed up. I've scarred this woman. She's going to think about this weird man licking her tears in her eyelashes for the rest of her life and think of me as like the biggest creep she's ever known. Mm. But of course, Rhys being Shadow Daddy, he chuckled as I scrambled to the corner of the cell, wiped my face, and I glared at him. He smirked, sitting down against the wall. I figured that would get you to stop crying. It was disgusting. I wiped my face again. Was it? He
it definitely surprised her out of it.
Right. He squirked an eyebrow and pointed to his palm, to the place where my tattoo would be. Beneath all your pride and stubbornness, I could have sworn I detected something that felt differently. Interesting. Get out. As usual, your gratitude is overwhelming. Okay. I mean, the confidence to be like, I could tell you liked it though, girl.
you actually liked it. Anyway, ta-ta.
Bye-bye. Later. Oh
Yeah.
man, but that did happen. So there is
Yeah.
the tension, love triangle type situation. There was also one point where Reese took Tamlin to one of the parties or whatever, or Reese took Tamlin. That's a whole like other writing that
That's a fanfic right there. Headcanon.
Yeah. It's fanfic right there. But Reese took Rhysand. Reese is like what the big nickname, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Reese took Feyre to another night party or whatever, and then Tamlin and Feyre went to like a back room. They started making out and all this kind of stuff. At this point, they've already made love, and previously when they made love, it was described as Tamlin sheathing himself within her.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the thing.
Yes.
So they're making out in the back room, and Reese comes in. He's like, "What are you doing? Get out of here! If anyone catches you, like you both will be dead, etc., etc." And then Reese makes out with Feyre.
It's weird.
And Feyre was like,
but
I'm not about it, but I'm not stopping him. But also she describes it as like, I could still taste Tamlin in my mouth as Rhysand's tongue entered my mouth. I was like, wow!
Yeah, there's a lot of tasting of people in this.
There's a lot of tasting of people.
I'm like, I don't know what that means. I can't relate with this, like,
you know what?
Some Love Island energy. I can't
relate
relate to it unless I'm a Love Island contestant. I don't know if I'll ever relate to that.
That's true.
But here's the thing, like, it does make sense. You know, Amaranth is like got this thing with Tamlin, but Reese is like her sexual prisoner. And so, like, you know, there's this like love square kind of happening.
Yeah, it is kind of square, yeah.
And it's almost like, yeah, there's a little bit of awkward blurring of consent lines in here, but then we come to find out that this was like, yes, very weird and awkward, but also a way of protecting and diffusing a situation that could have gone.
The conflict.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, this first book with all of its debauchery and red flags and consent blurring was definitely starting to go. I'm like, why are people so fired up about this? But then book 2 came around and I started going, oh, gotcha. Okay, this is where the love story blossoms and the story goes deeper and things like, okay. So like, bear with us if you're new to the series. That's what we're getting.
I got a little quote that I'll read from A Court of Mist and Fury, which is the second book. So that way it'll tease what's to come. And if you guys want more, then we can do more. She stabs the first 2 fairies, but when the hood is removed from the third one, it's Tamlin. At first, Feyre believes she must kill the man she loves until she remembers 2 conversations about Tamlin's heart of stone. She believes this means Tamlin's heart is literally made out of stone, so he cannot be harmed by the dagger. Knowing Amarantha wants Tamlin for herself and doesn't want to see him killed, Feyre plunges the dagger into Tamlin's chest. She is correct. But Amarantha refuses to break the curse based on a technicality. The technicality there was... and Feyre was warned before that you have to be very technical with like any deals that you make with fairies. But even then, Amarantha was essentially like, okay, I told you that I would free you. I didn't say when.
Yeah.
In a rage, Amarantha beats Feyre almost to death. Feyre finally realizes the answer to Amarantha's riddle is the word love. Okay.
Yup. Do you remember the riddle itself? I can look it up if you don't have it.
I don't. While he's looking it up, she speaks the solution aloud, and the curse breaks just as Feyre dies.
Here it is. There are those who seek me a lifetime, but never we meet, and those I kiss, but who trample me beneath ungrateful feet. At times I seem to favor the clever and the fair, but I bless all those who are brave enough to dare. By large, my ministrations are soft-handed and sweet, but scorned, I become a difficult beast to defeat. For those, each of my strikes lands a powerful blow. When I kill, I do it slow. And I was thinking immediately when I read this, I was like, it's going to be something cheesy like the heart, you know, and like...
Right. I mean, you were there.
Like that.
Love.
But it was. So when I read love, I went, okay. I think that's a common reaction to be like, okay, you know.
I mean, you know, it's...
But it's the underlying theme of the book, so...
Well, also, you play to the audience, right? The audience is very much like the romance, the fantasy. Again, I'm a kind of person that, you know, for the millionth time, Wolverine is dead, and then it's like healing factor. I'm like, yeah, baby!
Right. Sometimes you gotta indulge and double that. If the answer was a rock, You'd be like,
Right.
okay, great. What's that have to do with anything? You know?
Actually, it's the green grass.
Wow, wonderful.
Hey, thanks. With the curse broken, Tamlin and Rhysand join forces to destroy Amarantha. One by one, the 6 High Lords gift Feyre with healing, light, and immortality. Tamlin sets a bit of his golden light on her heart, resurrecting Feyre and transforming her into one of the High Fae. Feyre and Tamlin are finally free, but Feyre must reckon with her new life and the lives she took to bring them to this point. That is the first book.
Woo! It really, I'll be honest with you, it really picks up towards the end and then speeds along.
It does. The first half, because I listened to graphic audio and they split each book essentially in half, just so you could download and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But the first half of the first book, I was like, okay, there's a lot of world building. Not bad, it's just a lot of world building here. And then after that, I was like, okay, now there's way less smut than I thought. But when people talk about like, ooh, the smut, it's apparently this is more tame in terms of like, it's like very entry level. Even then, it's like, it's very tame across how many books? 5 or 6. And then this is the first book. So it was very tame. You had a couple moments of passion, but it was really world building and setting all of it up.
I felt like any time it slowed down, I commend it for this, it picked up. I was like, man, this part's really starting to drag, or like, right, how many more times can you really spell something out? I love to infer things. That's just my personal style. So when you spell it out for the 3rd time, I'm like, right, I got it. And so I start to get a little exhausted, but that's when she then unfolds the next thing. And so I did appreciate that. It did move into the next thing before it overstayed its welcome at any point.
Right.
But yeah, once you start hitting the trials at the end, you have that young adult.
Yeah.
It's like the, like Maze Runner, or why am I thinking To Kill a Mockingbird? But what's the actual Hunger Games?
Hunger Games.
It has that energy to it. And so I'm really like, oh, now we're really going. I love that. That's a trope I could just constantly read for sure.
But yeah, I mean that's
the book. That's the story.
That's the book. My prediction: her and Rhys end up becoming a thing. I'm interested to see what would be the possible downfall between her and Tamlin.
Okay. Yeah.
What would be
where
that
you
whole
left
thing
off?
there? Also, at some point in time, Feyre was in like I think it was Rhys's room or one of the rooms that he has, and Tamlin has his like beast form, which is very majestic, and Rhysand's is like it's like a freaking bat thing, talons and wings and stuff like that,
like a vampire kind of.
Yeah, I'm like, do we like this?
Yeah,
I'm like looking back.
Dude. For every reason in the world, she's given us a reason to say that's the bad guy with all the nasty, like he's got these like veiny, membranous like wings of a bat, and you're like, why are we on this? We feeling this? We all like this.
over Tam.
Huh?
Okay.
But it's everything beyond the image. It's beyond the cover of these books of men. But I'm very curious now because for me, the lines are blurred between 1 and 2. And obviously it shouldn't because I know kind of where it ends, but it's more of the details of like the relationships between these characters. There's something where book 2 opens on something very, very clearly in my mind, but I didn't know if that was at the end of this book or not. So I won't say it, but I would love to hear more of your predictions.
I think we'll get into the different courts. I think right now it's, it's kind of a little bit more bubbled up in terms of like the world where it's like, oh, okay, the High Fae of the Spring Court, I believe is Tamlin's court. But they've already talked about the different courts, and then there's the Night Court, and so like I'm assuming we'll get into that and the conflicts between there and maybe like miscommunication between like the Night Court and all the other courts, something like that, and the conflict and the friction there.
Yeah. And I will say, we know just based on the culture under this mountain where these puzzles took place. I also got, and I'm still confused by the tunneling system. There's like ways to go from court to court by way of what feels like in my head. I'm probably wrong, but like tunnels or caves or portals or something, because as I'm looking at the map, the mountain sits kind of midway up this little continent on the other side of the summer, autumn, and winter courts. So the spring court, it feels like you could just walk to it, but I don't remember them going through these courts. But one thing that I remember being very excited to see of the Night Court was that under the mountain was apparently like a parallel culture to what the Night Court was. And so I was kind of like,
right.
Well, Rhys, I have all these theories that he's actually a good person protecting Feyre, and we see some of that protection take place under the mountain. But if he stems from the Night Court, what is his ultimate game? What is his sinister underlying deeds? But like, and how will those unfold? But also, I'm conflicted because I have all these red flags from Tamlin. And so what does that do for Feyre? You're left kind of in this ambiguous zone of who really is the good guy at the end of book 1?
Right.
And why do I think that? I mean, you might have some spoilers rolling around in your head to nudge you in a certain way, but I think I was on board with Rhysand from the beginning because I recognize a lot of patterns for Tamlin, and I felt like they were a little bit loud, and so that's where I came from. But again, like, yeah, I'm trying to... There was the conflict I had between the face value story and this ongoing theory world that I was living in that kept not being disproven. And I kept going, Barbara, I don't know if I'm a conspiracy theorist, but everything I'm noticing falls into the camp of what I'm thinking the world actually is. But everything I'm told falls over here. And so it's a really, I really do say that despite it being simple, it's a fun read, very Beauty and the Beast, and it leaves you on a really good cliffhanger for, it really is like a 0.5. Instead of a book 1, it really is just an opener to what some think are the best book between 2 and 3. They're argued to be the best, to a really good run of literature behind this.
Okay.
So yeah.
Well, you know, that's Red Web Goes Smutty.
Red Web Goes Smutty, Read Web. It's like our book club now,
It's a little book club. It's a little smut club. If you guys enjoy this, let us know, and then, you know, leave us comments.
Yeah.
Watch, share this as well, then we'll possibly do more. I mean, I'm going to get into the rest of the series. And also thank you so much for all the love and support during the stream that we had. This was one of the stretch goals, and you guys absolutely knocked it out of the park. So getting through all the different stretch goals that you guys have accomplished.
Yeah. A lot of stretch goals. Many are on theme. We got some ghost hunts. We have this, something a little bit more outside of our normal realm, as you know. But this is the first one coming out. We're going to put out like an update video. That's one of the first vlogs here soon as well. And that will give you more insight into the cadence of the releases of these. We wanted to put out something within the first month so you know that we're making momentum. Some of these things are a lot more in-depth, pre-production and whatnot. But I was very eager to get to this knowing that we were both already reading ACOTAR. So happy to revisit this if this is something you guys are interested in. And as stretch goals come out, I will say they will go out 7 days early or a week early at redwebpod.com just for all the direct support happening there. But they will all then, after that initial week, come here to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/redwebpod. But yeah, thank you all so much. Fredo, this was a little fun side quest?
It was fun. I knew we'd get into it. I knew we would.
Yeah. It's already permeating our lives a little bit. We've teased it in Red Web.
And I'll leave you guys with a little quote from the next book.
Yes.
Tamlin let out a low snarl of approval, and I bit my bottom lip as he removed his pants, along with his undergarments, revealing the proud, thick length of him. My mouth went dry, and I dragged my gaze up his muscled torso over the panes of his chest, and then, "Come here," he growled, so roughly the words were barely discernible. I pushed back the blankets, revealing my already naked body, and he hissed. We're hissing now.
There's a lot of growling, hissing, biting, and
it's feral. It's very feral.
I'll say when they always say like I bared my teeth, and I'm like, that doesn't look like, can't look good. That can't look sexy, right? Like,
bye everyone.